Hi guys, I'm Manpreet and I make book related videos on this channel. In today's video, I'm going to tell you about the books that are going to be released in August. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe and turn your notifications on. And if you have subscribed already, let's start this video where I'm going to tell you about the new books which are most anticipated. Please know that this is just my choice. There are so many books that release every single month and it would be impossible for me to cover all of them in one video or even two. So I just pick the books which either I am interested in or I feel like you guys must be interested in, like my existing subscribers. So yes, keep that in mind and let's get started with this video. I'm going to begin with the books by Indian authors and after this I will begin with the books by foreign authors. So if you are interested in books just by foreign authors, then you can skip to the number I'll mention over here or here somewhere on the screen, okay? Book number 1 is Immortal India by AMISH. This is a non-fiction book which is the collection of essays and speeches by this very popular Indian author AMISH. All this content touches subjects of history, mythology and Indian society. Number 2 book is India Transformed, 25 Years of Economic Reform. Now this is again a non-fiction book which is more about Indian economy. It mainly discusses about 1991 economic reforms in India and how these have affected the country and a country's economy. And this book has quotes and views from very popular Indian businessmen, very successful Indian businessmen, including Mukesh Ambani, Narayan Murthy and so on. So yes, that is what this book is about. Number 3 book is Remnants of a Separation, A History of Partition Through Material Memory by Anchal Malhotra. Now this book is a history book which talks about India-Pakistan partition and it uses some of the materials that were transferred across the border to weave the story of that time and to recite you a very different kind of story. It's actually getting a lot of praise from people because of the way it is written, because they say it's a very different way of storytelling where the author has used different materials to remember the India-Pakistan partition and show it to the readers. Number 4, From Chanakya to Modi, Evolution of India's Foreign Policy by APARNA Pandey. Obviously, this is again a non-fiction book. I feel like this month a lot of non-fictions which a lot of people would be interested in are being released. Now, in this particular non-fiction book, the author explores the deeper civilization roots of India's foreign policy. Number 5th book is Failing to Succeed. This is a non-fiction / real life story / business / help book in which the co-founder of one of the India's very first e-commerce companies, that is India Plaza, has discussed how they started and what led to them to fail, because now we are going through the Indian e-commerce boom and they are nowhere to be found, whereas they started e-commerce in 1999. So the author, the co-founder of the company, explains what went wrong in this book. It could be very interesting for the people who are very much into online business and stuff, because it can give you great insights, according to me. I'm just guessing, okay? Number 6th book is My First Kitchen by Vikas Khanna. Now Vikas Khanna is a very popular chef from India, and in this book he has sort of explained how to build up your first kitchen, how to build up a new kitchen, how to build up the ingredients and everything. So if you're interested in cooking and you want a good kitchen and a very nice kitchen, maybe like Nisha Madhulika, then you can read this book, I guess so. So these are the 6 books which are going to be released and are by Indian authors. Now are like foreign authors which made me interested, okay? So let's get started with that as well. Number 1 book is Men Without Women by HARUKI Murakami. Now this is a Japanese author who has written this like poetry collection of men who have lost their women to other men or to death. Now this book was written in Japanese, like the poems were written in Japanese, but now this book is being translated into English and it is going to be released in August this year. And yes, those are not poems, those are short stories. So no poems, okay? Short stories. Next one is Home Fire. Now this is a contemporary fiction which is very much in news these days, because this was also selected in the Man Booker Prize long list of 2017. Now this book is about 2 main people, like this is a sort of love story, and in which there is a girl who has raised her siblings after her mother's death, and now she's sort of free, but she cannot just pull her away from her responsibilities. She still feels like she's responsible for them and she's too much occupied by that. And then there is this guy who belongs to a very powerful, very influential British Muslim political family. And it's about how these families meet and their loyalties are tested because of that and what happens next. Next one is Tin Man by Sarah Winman. Okay, I didn't want to pronounce it that way. But it is about two boys who have practically grown up together and now there is a girl in their life and what happens next. It's considered a classic fiction, that's why it's on the list. Next one that is going to be released is Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo. Leigh Bardugo is an author who is very much popular on Booktube and that's why I selected this book, and it's about Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is a phenomenon right now, and this book is where, you know, there is Wonder Woman Diana living in her own island and then she saves a girl who turns out to be a warbringer because she's destined to be that, and this is their story. I am assuming there would be a lot of action and this is the one I am personally very interested to read. Next one, which is the second last one, is A Stranger in the Door by SHARKLAPENA. Please excuse my pronunciation. I know I am not doing it right, but I am shooting this video in very testing circumstances, so please bear with me. Now this book is written by a Canadian author and it's about how well you know the person who is closest to you or even your husband. If you see the blurb of this book, it's very interesting. I just don't want to talk about it because it's a thriller. I don't like to talk about the blurb of the thriller, so I'm not talking about that, but it sounds really interesting. You should check it out. And the last book in the August releases that interests me is See What I Have Done by Sarah Schmidt. I hope that's how you pronounce it. Now this book is special because although this is a debut novel, Paula Hawkins has praised this book a lot, and you know I loved The Girl on the Train, and that's why, you know, my interest in this book has increased a lot. And I suppose it's about this girl whose father is found dead and nobody knows why the father is dead, and it's a contemporary thriller like that, okay? Yes guys, this is it for today's video. These are the books that are going to be released in August. Do let me know if you are interested to read any of the books I mentioned in this video. And yes, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, do hit the thumbs up and share it with your friends. This is Manpreet signing off.